Hey everyone, and welcome to my new channel, Search for Secret Doors. I made this channel because I've been responding a lot to the Wizards of the Coast controversy and everything that's going on with the open gaming license. And I thought, you know, I may as well just start my own channel because I have a lot of things that I want to say that I don't see others saying. And I wanted to address my very first video here to the folks at Wizards of the Coast, the executives and the executives at Hasbro, because I want to plead with you to not do what you're doing. And I don't feel like you understand really what's going on yet. Now, on Friday, I was here at work and I turned over and I saw, hey, there's a new post now that you put up about the open gaming license. And so I paused my work and I went over and I read it. And I, at that point, had already canceled my D&D Beyond subscription. It's scheduled to come up for renewal, I believe, on the 24th. So I'm going to lose about 30 different characters that I've created there. But it's like, it really hurt me when I went to go cancel my D&D Beyond subscription. I was so disappointed. But I thought, well, I need to do this because we need to send you guys a clear message. And when I read your response to me and to the people in my community, I was so infuriated with you that I wish that I could cancel my D&D Beyond account a second time just so I could go in there and leave comments again about why I was quitting, because I don't think that you understand us. Now, you said you would appreciate a chance to be able to make it right. So I am making this video as a good faith response to what I believe was an incredibly bad faith decision. I think you don't really understand even what you did. Or if you do understand, at least some folks don't. Whoever wrote this post clearly doesn't understand what is going on because you responded to entirely the wrong things. Part of the problem could be that we speak different languages. You speak corporate and we speak gamer. And I think while we've been trying to tell you what you've done wrong, you might be hearing something entirely different. And so I want to take my time in a good faith effort to try to explain to you what you're screwing up and why I am so furious with you. I feel like a person whose spouse is cheating on me. Like, I didn't want a divorce. I didn't want to cancel my D&D Beyond. That's my most important subscription that I have. More than my Netflix, more than my Disney Plus, more than my anything else. Like, I depend so much on that D&D Beyond. You have no idea how much that pained me. I feel like the person whose spouse is cheating on them, that I didn't want a divorce. I didn't want our relationship to end. But you cheated on us. And so I felt like I had nothing that I could do but cancel my D&D Beyond account. It's the only way that you will listen to me. But as I read through your response, it's clear to me that I don't think that you understand why I think you're cheating. The reason why your letter infuriated me is it's like you just got caught in bed with another woman and then you're like, oh, we rolled a 1. Isn't that so funny? And you know what? You didn't win. Really, our marriage won. And gamers don't talk like that. If we're going to use that phrase, we're going to say, I rolled a nat 1. Because there's a difference between rolling a 1 and rolling a nat 1, and we all know that. Now, it's not that big of a deal, but it's kind of indicative of how I feel like you don't understand our community. So I can imagine the kind of business meetings that you all would be having, where you're having to deal with issues like new TSR coming up and publishing games using your intellectual property that is transphobic and racist and just garbage. And apparently you're having to deal with NFTs. Now, I confess, I don't really understand what NFTs are. I've tried to understand them, but like apparently there's some bad guys out there that are trying to make D&D non-fungible, and we should definitely keep that thing. Like, we want to funge away, I guess. Funge that sucker. And then you're looking for ways to do this whole 4-quadrant strategy, movies, TV, other things. Cool. I'm really excited about that. Anything that brings people into our game, that's perfect. I'm on board, and I hope we get a really great movie, or at least I hoped so. I hope I can still watch it. if I can. So I imagine you sitting in this meeting and you take a look at DM's Guild and you're like, isn't this great how we're working with small creators and allowing them to use our intellectual property? They take a cut, we take a cut, and then the community gets a lot more content than we could provide them on their own. I imagine somebody saying, hey, wait a minute, what about all these games you're publishing under the open gaming license? Like, what about that thing? Why aren't we getting a cut of this one? They're using our intellectual property too. And I can just imagine Cynthia Williams sitting in that meeting and saying, hey, Smith, get our lawyers on this and see if we can figure out this OGL thing. And then I imagine Smith coming back in the next meeting and saying, okay, we think we found something. It's gonna ruffle a few feathers, but they'll get over it. The community always does. Now, this is the part of the letter that was just flat out not true, because you sent out those OGLs with a contract to people, so you knew full well what you were doing. But you just thought, oh, we're protecting our intellectual property, and so this is okay. Basically, you just treated the OGL as if it's just something similar to DM's Guild, like just part of your IP, and because it's part of your IP, you have a right to a cut of that. So I imagine that sitting in your seat, you don't feel like you're cheating on us. You just feel like you're sort of setting different boundaries, and you don't understand, why are we getting so worked up? Like, why do we feel so violated and so betrayed by you? Now I want to tell you the story from my perspective and tell you why I'm so infuriated with you. Now, we all understand that legally game mechanics can't be copyrighted. And so what you all did is you got together and you said, we're going to cut out the gray area because there's a lot of confusion in the community. We're just going to draw a line here and we're going to say everything to this side of the line. This is very clearly our intellectual property. And this stuff over here on this side of the line, like, we don't quite know where this fits, but as long as you stay here, we're going to be cool with you. You put together the system resource document and you created the open gaming license and you said, as long as you agree to these terms and conditions, we're all good. And the community prospered and you all prospered and D&D remained king for as long as you publish under the open gaming license. But it also made a second provision, and that was anything that I put together, I can create my own system resource document and publish it under the same license so that other people in turn can use my content. Open source and everybody wins. So I, as a gamer, don't care if you want to publish one D&D under a new OGL. I mean, I do. I want you to publish it under the same one, but like, whatever, it's your choice. You do know we're going to all call it 6th edition, right? You made us a promise. You gave our community a gift. And you said, we promise we will never take it back. And then you released the OGL 1.0A as a way to sort of, like we talk about contracts as a way to keep honest people honest. And you said, look, this is a way that we can make sure that we will never go back on our word. And lots of people left their jobs and started their own small little publishing companies. Aspiring creators said, I'm going to go out and make a thing. I was so excited on Saturday because I got my Questionomicon from Spider-Man himself, Jacob, at XP to level 3. And I've been waiting for this for a long, long time. It was hung up in shipping. Jacob is just a goofy YouTuber that lays on the floor and talks about why Counterspell sucks. And yet because we all love him, he was able to put together his own book. You would not have made this book. And yet I can use this. This didn't take away any money from you. So your lawyers think that they found a loophole. I don't know, maybe they did. I'm not a lawyer. It sure doesn't seem legal to me, but even if it is a tremendous show of bad faith. You gave us your word. You are in bed with another woman. You are cheating on us as a community, and that is why I am outraged. You asked for a chance to try to make it right. I don't know what you can do to make it right. The OGL only worked because we all believed that it would work. Now that you have taken this step of bad faith, any independent content producer would be absolutely foolish to publish under the OGL any longer, which means that nobody's going to be producing content for 5e any longer, which means I don't really want to play 5e any longer because you screwed over my community. I'm going to be looking to see what's the consensus of the community now. Are we all going back to Pathfinder like we did under 4e? Or, you know, what's going to happen next? I don't know. But if there is a way for you to make it right, it would be this. We would need to see that you understand that OGL 1.0 needs to be irrevocable. Maybe it's putting out an OGL 1.0b with the exact same wording, but you put in that word irrevocable. I don't think that that's going to be enough for our community right now. How about this? You could do what Paizo is doing, and you could put together the OGL and then give that away to a third-party nonprofit that's going to protect it from people trying to do again what you've done. That would go a long way towards winning my trust back. I think that would fully do it. Now, you want to keep bigots out of the game and you want to stop NFTs. Those things I understand. You want to protect the LGBTQ plus community, which I'm a part of, from the bigots coming out. I think that's great. But not at the expense of the OGL. That's not how you do it. And you know what would really help gain our trust? To the executives of Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, sit down and play our game. Have Chris Perkins pull out one of our starter sets and run you through like just a 4-session introduction to this game so you understand what the heck it is that we love about this game. Lorraine Williams, sit down and play your own dang game. I don't even know how to describe how important I think that small little act of playing the game will help you to make decisions that positively affect your bottom line in ways that you can't even imagine. But whatever you do, this is just my plea to you. Please don't destroy this game.